Hi, I'm Nathan. I live in Upper Tyrone Township. I need to tell you about an ordinance that the supervisors have proposed. This ordinance will adopt the 2012 International Property Maintenance Code. This code governs all existing structures: houses, barns, sheds, fences, garages. It governs the land around your house. It governs land on which there is no structure. It applies to owners, renters, occupants. This ordinance dictates the size of your room, how warm you have to keep your house, how many people can live in your house. The supervisors want to adopt this ordinance because in 1995, a set of codes were adopted but never enforced. That was 17 years ago. I'd like to give you some specific examples from this ordinance. You may not have a car parked on your property that isn't drivable. You're not allowed to do major work on a car on your property outside of a garage. Who decides what major work is? And if you don't have a garage, can you afford to pay someone else to do the work? You have to prevent soil erosion on your property, and you can't have any standing water. If you do, you have to pay to call in the heavy equipment and fix the problems. You can't have any weeds or plant growth over 14 inches high. Now, weeds are defined as all grass, annual plants, and vegetation which is not cultivated, except for trees and shrubs. Who gets to decide exactly what all that really is? You have to have a fence around your swimming pool if the pool has more than 2 feet of water in it. If you have one of those $200 pools from Walmart or Target, the cheap fun in the summer is going to get really expensive. You cannot have any peeling paint on any structure on your property. You can't have any rust on metal, like maybe an old metal shed. You can't even have rust stains. You have to clean those off too. All windows must have screens. Why is this the township's business? You have to heat your house to at least 65 degrees. It has been getting more and more expensive to heat a home. And if you can't afford 65 degrees, so you set your heat back, are the heat police going to show up and check? This code brings in the International Building Code, Plumbing Code, Electric Code, Mechanical Code, and others. It specifies that drainage from your downspouts in your driveway can't run off your property in such a way that it creates a public nuisance. Who defines what a public nuisance is? Supervisors? A neighbor who doesn't like you? All structures have to be in good repair. But what is good repair? Who decides? How much could that cost you? And you can't have any rubbish on your property. Who decides exactly what rubbish is? The code has some outlines, but it's open to interpretation. This code specifies that you can't have too many people in a room. But what if you have a small house and a big family, and that's what you can afford? Who moves out? Where do you get to live? If you're found in violation of this code, over 29 pages, hundreds of rules, you can be cited. You'll go before the magistrate. You'll pay a fine. You will pay Upper Tyrone's legal fees, and you will pay court costs. And if you can't pay these, you can go to jail. That is in Section 10 of the code. If you haven't fixed what they cited you for, they can come and fix it for you, but then they'll send you the bill. If you can't pay the bill, they put a lien on your house. If you can't pay off the lien, they can put your house up for sheriff's sale. This ordinance, this code, is not what Upper Tyrone Township needs. This code and ordinance are arbitrary. It can be subjectively enforced. Who decides against whom the code will be enforced? What constitutes a big enough infraction for the code enforcement officer to show up at your house? This is costly. Do you have the money for a citation and legal fees and court costs? Can you afford not to eat for a month? It's unfair. It affects those who have the least money, to keep a house in perfect condition. It affects those who may lose their house and who will end up buying your house. someone with a lot more money than you do. We don't need to be transferring property and wealth to the wealthy people. This ordinance is invasive. It states that the code enforcement officer may gain access to your house. If you don't let him in, he's encouraged to go get the authorities, the police. This is unconstitutional. It violates the very freedoms our country was founded on. It's unchristian. This burdens us, the poorest among us, with a tangled mess of rules we can't hope to follow. It gives others great power over us, to rule over us. It oppresses us. This is un-American. We are guaranteed life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It would seem that the happiness of the supervisors is much more important than yours. I need you to take action. Join me at the Upper Tyrone Municipal Building on March 13th at 5:30 p.m. Tell the supervisors this ordinance is not for Upper Tyrone Township, and they need to vote it down. Tell the supervisors we don't need the ordinance that was put in place in 1995 either. We've lived for 17 years without it. This new ordinance is supposed to promote general health, safety, and welfare. We've all survived for 17 years without them oppressing us, enforcing rules on us. And I wouldn't call not being able to afford groceries something that makes me healthier or safer. Please join me at the Upper Tyrone Township Municipal Building, Tuesday, March 13th at 5:30 p.m. Thank you.